Sorry.
Do you want us to start all over, or do you want to keep it? I don't mind.
Let's keep it.
Okay.
Let's just keep it.
Yeah, because you know me. I like a little messy. I like a little like
Yeah, my lap just decided to just tumble. So.
I'm all about real. Like, let's just keep it real. I always tell people the only thing fake I have is my braids. Like, let's just keep it real. So, well, first of all, welcome back, everybody. As I always say, I don't know how these are going to release. So they will release when they release. I have a couple of plans, but the truth is we don't know how teams are going to finish, what's going to end up happening, because this is being recorded the week of, well, I don't know. We haven't played week 18. So we're in between week 17. Week 17 just finished. Week 18 hasn't happened. Obviously, the Lions have a huge game to determine who's going to win the division. So that's going to impact a lot of things. So I don't know how they're going to release, but we're here to talk all things Lions. And I like when I have repeat offenders that come back to me and want to talk to me about their teams. And so I'm happy to do this. I'm also happy that the Lions are one of the teams that I think are one of the better teams in football. I think obviously injuries, give and take, and all the things, but I like the coach. I like a coach that's just going to go for it and let it all hang out. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. He doesn't really care. I love that. So I'm excited to talk all things Lions. And so welcome back, Jason. How are you?
Let's go. Welcome. Thank you for having me back. I'm really just want to say I'm really proud of you and what you've done this season with your content.
Oh, thanks.
I look at you as a mogul in the making. And so
stop. I'm not.
Hey, you gotta roll with it.
I'm like, people will never know this, but like, you know this. I don't feel my best. I feel congested. I kind of feel like I'm yelling. My ears are ringing. So I'm a little emotional. So don't make me get emotional on camera. But yeah, no, honestly though, thank you for saying that, because I feel like I started this with like a thought and an idea, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And now I feel like I'm kind of finding my thing as I'm working through. And so is it perfect? No, but it's a hell of a lot of fun.
Well, I'm proud of you. You're doing a great job.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Yep. So that makes me happy. How do you feel like your season went? How are you feeling as a fan? Obviously, huge game coming up. Like, I hope when this releases, the Lions take care of business. The Vikings fan I'm going to talk to is going to be very upset that I just said that. But there's something in me that just wants to see the Lions do well. I can't help it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's our time. It's our time. So how do I think the season went? The season went way beyond my expectations.
I love that.
Before the season started, I picked us to go 12-5 again. I did have us winning the division at 12-5. Who knew it would take 15 wins to win the division? I mean, that's just crazy.
It's crazy, yeah.
Like last year, we wrapped up the division like right around Christmas time. And this year it's going to take a little bit more.
Yeah.
So,
is the game at home? The game is at
It's in
home?
Detroit.
Okay.
In Detroit. Yep. For everything. So it's just crazy that a team is going to go 14-3 and literally be the 5th seed.
Isn't that crazy?
That is insane.
Well, hell, what are the Packers? The Packers are going to be what? They're going to be 13 and something, or probably 12 and something.
I think they're 11-5 right now. So if they win their last game, they'll be if they win their last game, they'll be 12-5. And that's third place. Which 12-5 won the division last year. So
it just shows the So
that division is all grit. Like, it's not just the Detroit Lions. Like Minnesota, to lose everything that they lost, like their like rookie cornerback died.
Yeah.
Addison was carted off the field in camp. Like McCarthy went down early. Like, they had a lot of loss early.
Mm-hmm.
They never blinked.
No, I love it. And I respect, like, I'm a Steelers girl, and I can respect grit, and I can respect hard work. And, my Steelers aren't very good, but I remember when we were, so like, I remember these times of like, oh my gosh, are we really this good? And then every week you're like, we're not this good. Are we this good? And it just confirms every week. You're like, yeah, we are. Yeah, we can. yeah, we're in a hole, but we got this. Like the Texans win. It's like I was watching that game, and a lot of people don't know. There's a few people that know this because I know other people that like cheer for the Lions and cheer for the Texans, and I'm like, the Texans are going to lose this game, and everyone's like, there's no way, and I'm like, I'm telling you, because the Lions aren't going to give up. I know what that's like.
Yeah, it's crazy. That game, that was one of the games. So you never want to say your team is going to lose, but when you're looking at the schedule before everything starts,
right?
That's one of the games you circle as a possible.
Yep.
As a possible loss. For me, because I had us 12-5, I never really determined which game was going to be a loss.
That's
but
fair.
Playing Green Bay, you probably could split with them.
Yeah.
Like I said, the Texans game, you could lose if Houston is Houston of last year.
Right.
Buffalo, which we did lose to Buffalo. We only lost twice, 14-2. I didn't think we'd lose to the Buccaneers week 2, but after that loss, I mean, you rip off 11 straight wins.
Yeah.
Which is the franchise record. So, I mean, if that's what it takes to win 11 straight and start the season off 12-1, I'm all for it.
That's
you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
To answer your question, like this year was way beyond my expectations. The Buffalo game, I kind of thought we'd lose. I kind of thought we needed to lose because if that's going to be the last loss of the season, fine, let's do it.
Yeah,
we're going to beat Minnesota. I don't have a doubt in my mind. Ford Field is going to be absolutely
crazy,
freaking rocking Sunday night.
I can't wait.
Yeah,
I can't
wait to.
So this is recorded before Texas plays Arizona State. They better take care of business, but whatever. And then I get to watch the Steelers play the Cincinnati Bengals, and I'm just like, whatever. But I'm excited for Sunday.
Where's that Bengals Steelers game at?
It's in Pittsburgh.
Because if the Bengals make the playoffs, all bets are off.
All bets are off.
Shake up the AFC picture.
Well, the good thing is, I will say, and I think people would agree with me, the Bengals defense isn't very good. Yeah. The problem is that offense is amazing. So the Bengals are an interesting dynamic. I don't think anybody's going to want to play them in the playoffs. They would be the hottest team in the playoffs.
Yeah. And I know the Chiefs better not blink because Burrowhead is a real team.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. I mean, we'll see what happens. The other thing is there anything that like surprised you about the team when you were kind of like, I thought we were like, when we talked before, you knew you all were going to be good. You loved that the coaches were returning. You loved like the culture, like you loved everything that was kind of happening. Was there anything that surprised you though, as you were kind of watching it play out all season?
4 things in particular. That's a great question. Thanks for asking. 4 things in particular surprised me. Number 1, the way we destroyed the Dallas Cowboys, 47-9. I mean, we absolutely obliterated them in Jerry World. That was a big surprise. You just want to get out of Dallas with a win because every time we go there, we get cheated. So you just want to get out of there with a win.
That is a good point.
Another thing that surprised me was Aiden Hutchinson going down. I mean, injuries can happen. They will. They're inevitable. But he went down, and that literally, like, we couldn't even celebrate the Dallas win because Aiden goes down that game.
Yeah, it's true.
So that was the second thing that surprised me, the blowout and then the Aiden Hutchinson injury. The third thing that surprised me is 11 straight wins and a 12-1 start. I mean, that's just insane. Like, you can't, that's Madden. You know what I mean? Like, and then the fourth thing is the fact that even Aiden and all those injuries, I mean, it's not just Aiden. You're talking about Aleem McNeil. You're talking about Marcus Davenport. I mean, really, pretty much our whole front defensive line, except DJ Reader. You make the trade for Zadarius Smith. I wasn't one of the people that thought that we would get a Max Crosby or a Myles Garrett, although I would love to have gotten one of those guys, especially. I mean, of course, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I just was being realistic with the way Brad Holmes does things. His thing is building through the draft. I love that. To win all those games with all those injuries piled up. Every week.
It was something. I felt like it was something every week.
Every week is not just one guy. It's two or three guys. We lost Carlton Davis and Aleem and Alex Anzalone. I mean, we just lost
Yeah.
Rodrigo was the backup to Anzalone. We lost him to a torn ACL. So
That's actually interesting. I will be honest and say I was one of the people cheering for you all to get Myles Garrett. Just saying, wanted him out of the AFC North.
Of course.
Wherever he wants to go, let him go there. So, but
you know what's crazy about that whole Myles Garrett thing? Zadarius Smith actually fits us better.
He does.
He wanted to be here, and he had a better season than Myles Garrett so far.
Even now.
Well, I know
Myles Garrett
2 sacks in the first 6 games with the Lions. He didn't get one last night against the 49ers, but they said he had 3 through the first 6.
Because I think
Myles
right now
Myles struggled this year. He may not have.
I think he has like 13 points. I think he has a lot of sacks.
Let me see.
Myles Garrett.
He may have gotten it recently because I haven't. I mean,
he started to play a little bit better.
So I haven't really been keeping.
Nobody cares. Yeah.
But he started out pretty slow. But he has.
So he had 2 against the Dolphins, 1 against the Bengals, 1 against.
Okay, he got
Steelers.
14.
Yeah.
He got 14 this year.
But I do agree with. But I do agree with what you're saying. I do think you guys got the fit that works for your team. Now, obviously, just being an AFC North girl, I'm like, get him out of here. Why is he? Oh, my whole computer. There it is. I'm like, get him out of here. Why is he here? Go wherever you want to, bro. Like, just get out of here. So, I love that. So, what do you think? I'm going to, you know this, I said this before we hit record. I'm excited to talk to people that have like really good teams because my team just, we're hanging on. We're doing our best. We're overachieving, quite frankly. Everybody picked us to finish last in the division and not to make the playoffs. So we're overachieving. Yeah. They're like, they're going to be bad. It's going to be a down year, blah, blah, blah. They're rebuilding. And we kind of are. It's just the Steelers rebuild is
nice.
It's like, still winning. It's like we're winning.
Have a Raiders or a Jaguars rebuild. Like you don't have a 4-12 rebuild. You have a 8-8 rebuild, a 9-8 rebuild,
or a 10 and whatever and make the playoffs. And we're like, we're not going to beat anybody, but So what would you say is a strength of your team? Like, what is something that for your team you're like, this is who we are. This is our strength. This is our thing.
Can I give you 2?
Yeah. Hey, this is your show. I'm just facilitating.
Grit is our thing. Like that's a real thing. Like when you see Penei Sewell in the pregame speeches, give it all you got. Bust them in the mouth. Like they won Detroit. Come get us. You know what I'm saying? Like this dude every week is going nuts. And if that isn't the embodiment of what Dan Campbell is all about, like you want to run through a brick wall for Dan Campbell and Penei Sewell.
I agree.
Like the grit, I mean, and you see it in the play. You pick up a Tim Patrick. This dude is blocking all the way down the field. He goes like 12 weeks without a touchdown, and then like 3 games straight, he scores a touchdown. And 1 game he had 2.
Yeah.
It's like everybody, like it's what I love about us. Well, I'll give you 3: grit, unity, and then offense. Like our offense literally carries us a lot of.
What is that like to have an offense? I don't remember what that feels like exactly. So what you mean is like you get the ball and then you score touchdowns and you expect to like score touchdowns? Is that what you're saying?
I know, right? I feel
you expect to get first downs? Like
listen, it feels good. It feels amazing.
Explain that to me. Explain that concept.
I know.
Wait, y'all. What about 3 and outs? Do you know what a 3 and out is? For your team.
That you say that, it is kind of rare that we get them, but
you know what? Okay, you know what? Fine.
But yeah, it just feels amazing. I mean, that Detroit is finally getting its due. Yeah. The way the fans have always deserved.
Yeah, that's true.
We've sat through some really miserable, embarrassing. The Lions were the team that the league made an example of, whether it was the referees making a blunder and then they apologize a week later, like, oh, we should have done this, or like the Calvin Johnson rule, like calling the face mask on the Aaron Rodgers Hail Mary in Field when he didn't even grab his face. He grabbed his jersey right here. Like they've been making an example of the Lions for a long, long, long time. So I have a love-hate relationship with the NFL at large, because now everybody's talking about us, but the second something goes wrong, is it going to be Samuel Lions again, or is it, you know what I mean? It's like, no,
No,
like this is literally a
I
different
don't think
team.
so. Yeah.
It's a different
I
team.
think you guys have worked your way to respect.
Yeah.
I think everybody
You know
is.
what? I got to be honest with you though. As much as I love Dan Campbell, he really pissed me off last night when he didn't go for three. We were down 21-13, and I don't normally get upset about it because it's like, okay, that's what he does. But you're down 21-13, bro. First half, kick the field goal. You're down 4 at halftime. You get the ball back, and as you see, we came and tied it up at 21 in the third quarter. Then
So
yeah,
I have a different opinion on this though. And again, I'm not a fan like you are, so I'm kind of on the outside watching him work.
yeah.
I think he does things to keep his team focused and ready for anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what I realized with Dan Campbell is I think that keeps his team engaged and fired up and focused
Mm-hmm.
in his way.
And
Because there's some
this is
go
gonna
ahead.
sound funny. I understand what you're saying, but in that case, he should have been like, you know what? I'm going to punish you guys with these 3 points. Now, the
I
beautiful
don't.
thing,
Yeah,
go
yeah.
ahead.
I see. No, I see. It's funny to me because, like, again, I don't watch every single down, every single thing, everything the Lions do. I'm
Yeah.
not going to sit here and say I do, but when I do watch them,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like what he does. Again, not many coaches. I will give them this credit. I think because he knows he's a very aggressive coach. I think that sometimes he doesn't want to always be that. And so he gives like a little bit. So his players are kind of like, what are we gonna do? Okay, what are we doing? What's the call? Okay, we're gonna kick it. It's like you know what I'm saying? Because even if you watch like the next when you guys play the Vikings, watch the players look at him when he's deciding to go for it on fourth down, to kick a field goal, to punt, to do whatever. They all are like glued.
Yeah.
It like
They
play
never know
stops.
what's going to happen.
Yeah, play stops, and they're like, what are we gonna do? Okay, all right, perfect. And it's like that focus. I don't think you get it though if you just kind of do the things that you're supposed to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
But
so that's what I see when I watch him.
punish. It's like, you know what? You guys want to go 3 and out, or you guys want to stall out in the red zone. All right, kick it then. And then you'll remember next time you don't want to kick it the next time.
Right. Yeah. It's like this.
And
It's
I
like
mean,
this.
it's like in that situation, it's the end of the half. Just
True.
go into because you walk away down by 8 at halftime instead of 4.
True.
Now
But
you got
the
nothing.
man went for it on fourth down in the freaking NFC whatever game. So are you shocked?
Well, this is my thing. I pray that somebody is in his ear enough to say, okay, Dan, we remember what happened last year. Not to try to bring up the history or the past, but just to kind of be like, okay, we got to stay on we got to stay on point. We can't get greedy.
Maybe.
You can't get it all back at one time every time. Sometimes you just got to take what you can get, because as you see, Kirby Joseph got 2 interceptions last night, which turned the tide of the whole game.
Yeah.
You turned the tide.
I like it though. I like it. I like everything. I like it. So, but I hear you. I hear you because as a fan, you're like, bro.
I'm not mad at the
gamble. You're like, bro, like, come on.
9 times out of 10, I'm with you, Dan. Bro, you my guy. We trust in Dan. We trust. Go for it. Yeah. But it's that one time you got to be like, you know what? Let me just get these quick 3. We'll be back. We'll be back. It's just a commercial. It's not over.
He just doesn't do it. He's just yeah. Well, what do you think? So I think this is going to feed though into our next question, because I think what you're identifying might be a weakness. Is you're kind of like, what are we gonna do, bro? Like, are we just gonna get the points? Are we not gonna get the points? Yeah. Are we always gonna gamble? Like, what do you think?
Okay, so because I'm a diehard fan, I've watched every game, every play, and if I didn't watch every game because I was doing something, like I'm at church sometimes, like I'm out west, so sometimes, and our church starts at 2:00. So if it's a 2:20, like the Bills game, I missed the whole game. But I'm on every highlight. I'm on every video after I'm breaking down and seeing what's going on. Because I watch every game and see it all, there are times where Like I just lost my train of thought. I had something really dope I was about to do,
Yeah.
but it may come back to me. It may come back to me. Go
Okay.
to your
Okay.
next question. Okay.
So just so you know, that was just what do you think the biggest weakness is for your team heading into the playoffs? The other thing is to the Lions are such an interesting dynamic. So are there any teams that you would like to avoid? Like are there any teams that you're going, you know what, we could probably beat them,
Mhm.
but I really would prefer the Eagles over whoever.
Is this for the playoffs or the Super Bowl?
For the playoffs.
You started the playoffs. Okay.
Yeah.
So to answer your first question, our biggest weakness is our pass rush.
Okay.
The pass rush has literally exposed that our secondary isn't amazing yet. And I know Carlton Davis is out. That's huge. Carlton Davis being out and our number one cornerback is a rookie and Terrion Arnold. That's huge.
Yeah, it is.
I'll say that for another time. But team that I don't want to face, there isn't any team in the NFC that if there is one in the playoffs, it's Minnesota, and that's only because it's darn near impossible to beat a team 3 times in a calendar year. You see what happened. We beat Tampa Bay last year 20-6 in Tampa without, I think, both running backs. I think Gibbs and Montgomery was out.
I can't remember.
We beat them 20-6. Then they come to Ford Field for the playoffs. We beat them again in a close game. And then this year we played them, which is in the same calendar year.
Yeah.
And they beat us.
Well, the good news is, though, it wouldn't be the same calendar year because the year is going to change.
Well, I understand. Okay, I got you. You're right.
I'm trying to give you hope, okay?
On the technical side, yeah.
I'm trying to give you a little bit of hope.
Right. But Minnesota,
I
don't want to see Minnesota in the playoffs because their defense is special.
See, that's what I think about the Eagles when it comes to going against
I'm not worried about the Eagles.
You're not worried about the Eagles? Okay.
Nah, honestly, I'm not. And I'm not saying it in an arrogant way. Saquon Barkley is amazing. He's the 2,000-yard season, all these things. But we don't give up a lot of rushing yards, so I'm not worried about that.
I was just worried about their pass rush.
Yeah, I'm more worried. I would worry about Philadelphia's defense against us.
Okay.
And we don't do too well against running quarterbacks. So between Barkley and Hurts, yeah, they could hurt us.
Yeah.
Unintended.
Okay.
But Minnesota, I feel Minnesota more because of what Justin Jefferson can do. If we played him in the playoffs, I wouldn't be surprised if he had a 200-yard, 3-touchdown game because he's that dude. To me, he's the best receiver in the NFL. And he's played us so many times.
That's true.
We don't have Carlton Davis, so we don't have a true corner to check him, and we play too much man for him. He's going to destroy us. I don't want to see them in the playoffs. You
don't want to see that. Okay.
I'm not worried about Philadelphia because
fair.
Smith, he's disappeared in games. AJ Brown has disappeared in games. Dallas Goedert isn't always consistent. Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts are the most consistent pieces that they have, and I've seen us bottle up good players like a Lamar Jackson. Like the last time we played Lamar Jackson, I mean, they blew us out, but Lamar didn't get off.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
So yeah,
I can see that. I can see that.
And we struggle against running quarterbacks. So if you were going to ask me who I don't want to see in the Super Bowl, it's definitely Buffalo. I'm not worried about the Chiefs, or as I call them, the Kansas City Cheats. I'm not worried about that.
You're worried about Buffalo, Josh Allen.
I want to play the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. That's who I want.
Well, would you want to play Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals in the Super Bowl?
To be honest with you, any quarterback that could slice us up, I prefer not to see them. But the Lions have shown us that they can win in so many different ways this year.
Yeah, that is the ultimate markings of a good football team. Yeah. Right? It's like if
the Bengals defense isn't that good, right?
They're not like on paper they're not very good. Yeah. So but I don't understand. But you know what? To be honest with you, I don't follow the Bengals who they're playing week by week enough to know.
Right.
But they're on an 8-game winning streak or whatever they're on. So I don't know. Maybe their defense has gotten better since the last time the Steelers played them. I don't know. The thing about the Bengals, the Bengals are just like the team.
Did you say the
you don't
Bengals
want
are
to
on
have
an 8-game winning streak?
not aren't they?
No.
Or 4-game winning streak.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's more.
4.
Likely.
I think it's 4. I think who's on an 8? Who was on an 8-game winning streak and they lost?
Because their record is 8-8, so they definitely.
Okay, maybe you're right. Maybe they're like on a 4 or 5-game winning streak or something like that. Somebody's on an 8-game winning streak.
Is it an AFC team?
I don't know. I don't know. You know how sometimes when you watch a lot of sports, you kind of hear things as a pass by, and you're like, "Oh, that applies to somebody."
Yeah. It kind of jumbles all together sometimes.
So while you're looking that up, when you guys get to the Super Bowl and you win the Super Bowl and you take a deep breath, what do you think will be the first thing that you say? We won because of what?
Jared Goff.
Oh.
I think we'll live and die with Jared Goff this year. I honestly do. I think that Jared has displayed the ability to be amazing. At this point, he has 36 touchdowns and only 10 interceptions. And 5 of those 10 came in one game.
Texans.
Yeah. So, when he's on, he's on.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, Jared Goff don't even really have to do a whole lot.
That's what I was. Yeah.
Nah. He just gotta see.
He has to be a very good game manager and not lose the game.
That's it. Don't turn the ball over.
Don't turn the ball over. It's like that's what I say about Quinn Ewers. Don't turn the ball over.
Right. Especially when we get David Montgomery back. Like, now what I do love about it is David Montgomery's been out for 3 weeks now, and we haven't missed a beat. Like,
I love that. Markings of a good football team.
Like, Craig Reynolds looked good last night. Jefferson. Sometimes I didn't know if it was Jefferson or Gibbs. They got the same hair. One is 28, one is 26. Their body, is kind of this, same.
The same.
And I'm like, man, was that Jefferson or Gibbs? They all run hard. Our special teams haven't given up the big play. Like, I'm just proud of this team. Like, 14-2 is nuts.
You should be proud of them.
And I have to say, if I don't say this before we get off the video, I would be remiss, and I should be fired from every podcast ever. The Lions are 8-0 on the road. Holy smokes!
I think are they the only team in the NFL that hasn't lost a? That actually might have been what popped up in my head. I just remember something with 8. Because they're the only team that haven't lost a game on the road this year.
Insane. And we've won in some really hostile places. Dallas, Houston, San Francisco, Green Bay, Minnesota. We won in Minnesota.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Shout out to the Detroit Lions for, you know what, just being a team that is enjoyable to watch. And being a team that I feel like, as a football fan, we've watched them kind of go from what the F was that to okay, to okay. And now you're kind of like, the Lions are playing. You might want to watch it because, no offense, but I used to be like, why do we watch that?
Honestly, okay, can I be honest? And by the way, I'm going to do a shameless plug. Shout out to you for being an inspiration to me. I'm starting my Rutley Media Sports and Media page.
Nice.
On YouTube,
okay.
Probably February. But I got 2 shows. One is called Ready, Set, Rut.
Okay.
Pun and on Rutley.
Love it.
Ready, Set, Rut. And then I'm doing the Big and Bright show with my best friend back home in Michigan. We had 3 seasons. But I wanted to say that thank you for inspiring me. I was one of those people that I like to talk sports, but it's like I don't really want to do all of that.
Yeah.
So, but I'm ready to do it. We'll launch out. But I wanted to say that oh my God, I lost my train of thought again. I thought I had something.
So while you're thinking of that, if you make sure that you get the YouTube channel right now.
Yes.
So, and after this, when you get that already locked down and you start that YouTube channel, send me the link. I will go ahead and put in the description so that if somebody finds this video in March or April, right? Yeah. This will be attached to it. So don't forget to send me that.
I do that. I had something so dope I was about to say. It was so dope. I hope it comes back.
Yeah. So what is the rut? What is the what did you say? Downset rut?
Ready, set, rut. You know how they say
rut.
ready, set, hut.
Yeah. What is or is it just talking all things football? Are you doing Detroit Lions or like what is your
So it's gonna be all sports.
Okay.
But it's like me quarterbacking every conversation.
Got it.
That's why
Okay.
we're doing the ready, set, rut, because it's like I'm the quarterback. You know what I mean?
I feel a sneeze coming on. So if I go on mute, just ignore the sneeze happening. As we wind this down, my last question I really have for you is there anything else you want us to know about the Lions? As a lot of people will be watching the Lions in the playoffs that haven't watched the Lions before because they watch their team or whatever. And we all know when playoff football rolls around, all of a sudden you get all these new fans with all these new opinions, with all these new, well, why don't they just run it up the middle? Well, why don't they just pressure the quarterback? You know what I mean? Like These fans don't know. I always get mad when my Steelers play on national TV because then everybody has something to say about the Steelers. And I'm like, oh gosh, here we go with all the things you have no idea what you're talking about.
Right.
So is there anything you want us to know when watching the Lions, or just that you would just want us to know about the Lions?
Honestly, I guess I would start here. You just got to be patient with them, like during the course of the game. Because as you can see, no matter how ugly things have looked in games, I mean, okay, so we lost 2 games this year, 14-2. The first game we lost to Tampa Bay, we lost by 4. It was 20-16. Now, you know, and I know 16 points, we scored that in a quarter.
Oh, must be nice.
Right. So, I mean, we've scored 40 points or more 5 games with no turnovers this year. We put up 50 on 2 teams. We put up 40 on.
What a freaking joke.
Yeah, we put up 52 on the Titans and like 50 on the Jags. And then we scored 47 on Dallas, 42 on Seattle, 40 on San Fran. We can score with the best of them.
Oh yeah? Well, we win games by only scoring field goals.
Beat that's what I was thank you. You just brought it back.
Beat that.
You just brought it back. That's what I was going to set up. How in heaven's name can a team win 6-3, 9-6, 13-9?
The Steelers won, I think, if we beat the Ravens like 18-16 or 18-17 or
like,
and we didn't score any field.
I remember that.
The Steelers have won
18-15.
We've won 2 games this year, 18-10, I think, to start the season. We've won 2 games this year and didn't sniff the end zone.
That's insane.
Yeah,
that's literally insane.
Listen, you're just jealous. You're just jealous, okay? That we find ways to win. So listen, I know, be jealous.
Listen, I'm grateful that this team, the Lions, have found different ways to win because now you can't call us a one-trick pony.
It's true. Yeah, that's true.
You can't. I just saw something today. We got 4 players for the first time in NFL history. 4 players have over 1,000 yards from scrimmage.
Oh, that's cool.
St. Brown, J-Mo, Gibbs, and Montgomery. And that we got another week to go.
Yeah, and I think so. One of the reasons why I wanted to talk to playoff teams is because I did the 32 fan series, and all fans are at different points. And I go through this with college football, right? Some teams win a game and they're like, "Whoa, we won! We're the best!" And it's like, but it's not really like that, right? It's like, do you have different ways to win? Who did you play? Who were your da 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 da? Playoff teams, minus probably 2 or 3 of them, are really good football teams. And when I say really good, I mean they complement each other. I mean that they have a great defense. I mean that they can, get stops. They have usually good field goal kickers. They can punt the ball well. They, get 3 yards on first down, 4 yards on second down, third and manageable, like complementary football. All of the things that I feel like we don't really get to watch until we're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because I think it's usually really good football where you're like, oh,
Yeah.
This is why my team isn't very good. We can't do 4 of the things I just saw this team do.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I wanted to do this, is just to, like, in a way, celebrate, like, we're in the football. This is the NFL playoffs. This is real football. It is time. Like, this is it, and like
I love it.
college bowl games, like, whatever. College playoff games, though, I think will start to get better, as we move forward. So it's like, that's good football. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like good teams, not just teams that made it. It's like good teams. I like good teams. So anyways,
Absolutely.
and the Lions are that. So that's why I wanted to do this. And I want to thank you. I'm going to end on you, but first I'm going to just thank you for, like, joining me, being willing to do this. I know you have 1,000 things going on. So just, like, making the time for me and making this work. I appreciate you. And also thank you for being so gracious with your words and being so kind. So I appreciate you telling me that, because I think a lot of, this because you know this, but I always do things to, like, inspire people or to give you some information that you didn't know you needed to know. Even if I trigger you, even if you don't like the information, I'm still going to provide it. So anytime somebody receives it as, like, hey, I kind of want to do something similar, amen. Like, bring it on. So thank you for telling me that. And I just know that, like, I appreciate it. But we'll end on you. Anything else you want to say, you want us to take away while we're watching the Lions in the playoffs?
Man, I'm a little nervous because the further you, like, okay, so when we talked on the last interview, right? You asked me.
Don't call it an interview. Call it a conversation.
You were like, what will stop the Lions from winning the Super Bowl next year? And you know what I said?
What?
Injuries. So the only thing, and I feel that our offense can do enough to make, because think about it like this, right? Essentially, if the Lions win Sunday night, which I'm believing they will, we only have 4 more games this year.
True.
You win the next game, you finish the season 15-2, you win the division, you win the NFC. Everything goes through Detroit. So you get the first round bye.
Yep.
You watch everybody else beat each other up. First game is at home in the divisional. Second game at home is the NFC title game. We've never had a title game at home. So believing that we'll win Sunday and everything will go well, I'm just nervous that the tougher teams expose weaknesses. And our weaknesses is our pass rush and our secondary. Like, even our linebackers have been banged up all year. So our defense has a bend don't break system, whatever they call it. But I'm just hoping that we can hold it together just long enough.
Yeah. That's
to
fair.
Get to the Super Bowl. And honestly, I want to win the Super Bowl. That would be the biggest thing in Detroit history. The Pistons have 3. The Red Wings have like 7. The Tigers have a couple, but the Lions haven't even been there. So just to go would be amazing. But I'm just excited, man. I can't wait. I'm all ready for the playoffs. Good. And also, I want to get through this regular season because we can't afford no more injuries.
Yeah. One thing I always tell people, well, somebody actually told this to me when I used to play volleyball, and I keep it in mind when I do my sports stuff or focus on my teams. I'm like, the other team also has to play my team. So all of the worries and concerns I have about, like, what my team, like, are we going to be able to stop the run? Are we going to be able to do that? Are we going to turn the ball over? Whatever. The other team also has to not turn the ball over and has to. So, like, that gives me comfort sometimes where it's like, I get so worried about my team, and I'm like, yeah, but they got to show up too. Like, they have to do what they're supposed to do too, unless we're going to get another 6-3 game, and if it's 6-3, I like my team in a 6-3, like, any day of the week, like, sign me up for that. So anyways, like, that's one thing I always tell myself before games. I'm like, cause I get anxious and I always tell myself, you know what, this team has to come out and play my team too. So
that's facts.
That's
just facts. Like Kalei Sewell said, everybody want a piece of Detroit. Come get it. Come and get it.
That's it.
They got to come to Detroit to get it. So
Again, and I'll say this to the Vikings fan too, because I want Detroit to get home field advantage so bad, just because I think it's a cool place to go. And Yeah, I just that's what I want. That's what I want. I just want it to happen. So, anyways, I'll end this. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for
Thank you
sharing
for
with
having
us
me.
all things Lions. And I will drop your YouTube channel in the comment section because you are going to send me that link.
Yep.
So for anybody that's like wondering or whatever, it will be there. He said he's not going to start posting until February-ish
Yep.
time frame. So
Yeah.
calm down. But go ahead and hit subscribe if you
Thank
want
you.
to hear all things sports, football. I'm sure you'll do a ton of Lion stuff.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah, thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
All love.
Thank you.
Oh, Lions, one pride.
One pride. One pride.
Oh, grit. It takes more. Detroit versus everybody.